of Magnolia Avenue South here in the 5 Point South District. That call was updated that multiple people were shot. Our officers arrived on the scene when they observed 2 adult males and 1 adult female who was unresponsive on the sidewalk, suffering from a gunshot wound. We also began locating multiple additional gunshot victims in and around the area. Also, multiple victims began arriving at various hospitals throughout our city. Birmingham Fire and Rescue personnel arrived on the scene in the 2000 block of Magnolia Avenue. Our medics pronounced the 2 adult males and the 1 adult female deceased on the scene. I just gathered information from our team that a 4th victim has now been pronounced deceased at UAB Hospital. So we have a total of 4 deceased victims as of now. From speaking with our officers and speaking with our detectives, we have dozens of gunshot victims from this area. I'm told at least 4 of those gunshot victims are life-threatening. The other have various injuries. Here's what we know so far in this investigation. We believe that multiple shooters fired multiple shots on a group of people in the 2000 block of Magnolia Avenue. There's no one in custody, and we cannot stress to the public how important it is for us to have information in this investigation. We have reached out to our partners with the ATF. We have reached out to our partners with the FBI. You will have a plethora of law enforcement agencies assisting the Birmingham Police Department. And rest assured, we are going to do everything we possibly can to make sure that we uncover, identify, and hunt down who was ever responsible for preying on our people this morning. So if you have any information, please reach out to Crime Stoppers. That's your best avenue. You can remain anonymous, and you can receive up to $5,000 in cash for your tips.
So Birmingham Fire and Rescue said they transported 8 from the scene. Okay, so we have 3 dead on the scene.
Yes, ma'am.
8 transported from the scene, 1 of which we believe died at UAB Hospital.
Yes, ma'am.
How many others do you think showed up injured?
Right now, we have dozens of gunshot victims who are at various hospitals. In these types of situations, when you lock into a number, that number typically changes. So we can for a fact say that we have dozens of gunshot victims from this area.
So more than 24?
Unknown on that number, but we have dozens of victims. We're not going to lock into a number right now, but when we finalize everything, we will provide that number to our media partners.
Were these group of people outside of a business here? Where specifically were they?
We were told that all of the victims were out in the open on either a sidewalk or the street. So these group of shooters fired upon these victims when they were out in the open. We were not told that this happened inside of any business. This was on either a sidewalk or a city street.
Was this a drive-by shooting, or were the shooters on foot as well?
Our detectives are working to confirm whether the shooters walked up on the victims or drove by in a vehicle. And that's why we need the public's help. There's no information that's too small in an investigation like this.
Do you have a number of shots fired?
We're just going to say multiple shots fired.
Do you know why that group was there? Was there a party or an event down this road?
It's just a beautiful night on a Saturday. This is one of the most popular entertainment districts in Birmingham, so you can always expect a crowd. Right now, we are focused on getting these shooters off the street. We can't stress enough, if you are a business owner and you have a business in the 2000 block of Magnolia Avenue or surrounding areas, we cannot stress to you enough how important it is. If you have any surveillance footage, please reach out to the Birmingham Police Department. We know that this area is saturated with cameras. If you own a business in the 5 Point South District, in and around the 2000 block of Magnolia Avenue, we need you.
Witnesses said that many of the victims were waiting in line to get into a hookah lounge that's in that corridor. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. There's multiple businesses in and around that area, so that area typically has a lot of pedestrian traffic.
The night of the homicide in Billy Bryan Park. Billy Bryan, what is it?
Brother Bryan
Brother
Park.
Bryan Park.
Yes, ma'am.
Multiple officers left there and came to a fight here in the exact same location. Is this a trouble spot?
This area is known to our officers as a spot that people congregate because there are local businesses nearby that they patronize. And what that homicide showed us is that we have a ton of resources with our businesses in the form of surveillance cameras. If you have a business in the 2000 block of Magnolia Avenue, again, we need you because we know that your surveillance footage captured something.
This is
has
the
been-
second mass
One second, I'm gonna get
shooting.
Megan real quick and I'm gonna get you, Miss Carol.
This is the second mass shooting in Birmingham this summer. And we still don't have any arrests, I believe, from the other one. How do we focus on this one and that one? And what do you say to a second mass shooting in this city in a matter of months?
Well, first, what we do is we bring together all of our resources. We have a great resource in the Birmingham Police Department's Real-Time Crime Center that we tap into in any crime. But there's nothing that can beat the public's help. There's no greater resource than the public. And that is why we have a plea to the public. If you are out here, if you saw anything, if you heard anything, please reach out to Crime Stoppers, 205-254-7777. And also, speaking on that, these mass shootings have more to do with culture than they do criminality. Mayor Randall Wolfen said it best this week. We're seeing far too many arguments being settled by bullets. And I think this speaks to exactly what our mayor just recently said.
Witnesses said that it's likely Glock switches were used. Do you have anything to confirm that? Do you think it was more than one gun? How many shooters and were switches involved?
Great question. We are investigating that there's multiple shootings, and we are investigating that there possibly was a switch used, which goes to show you how important it is we get anyone and everyone who has that in their arsenal off of our streets.
Was there a shooting at another club tonight, Vibe, maybe?
Our focus right now is this, but I'll follow up on the info for you.
Can we expect an update tomorrow at any time in person, a press conference or anything?
We'll keep you updated. We will keep you updated. And what we also would like to do is try to make a resource for anyone with information. If you can remember from the mass shooting that we had in July, we were able to pull together some resources that we have technology-wise, and we were able to actually have one specific area that people can send video evidence to. We're in the works of getting that now for our community. Anyone?
He may have said this, but what time was that?
Just after 11 p.m. is when our officers received the call of the shots. And then after that, multiple victims came in. And let me close with this. In these situations, often the focus is on the Birmingham Police Department as far as our response and as far as how we are doing. Tonight goes to show you the women and men of the Birmingham Fire and Rescue Service and the women and men of UAB Hospital are absolutely tremendous. And this speaks to what they go through. Again, often the focus is on us as officers, but rarely do we get the chance to publicly thank Birmingham Fire and Rescue and UAB Hospital for the amazing work that they do and the stress and trauma that this causes. So let us publicly thank Birmingham Fire and Rescue and UAB Hospital. You ladies and gentlemen are